Hello, so I will show you how to set up a login and authentication system in Django. So first of all, this is very simple. It's not complex. So I have a basic setup stall for Django. As you can see, I already have one routes available, one URL available, which is admin. Okay, so if I go to admin here, it will ask me for login, right? But I don't want any user to go to admin and then login, right? I need a specific login for end user, so he can be login easily by simply typing login or just click on anywhere like login button, so and he can log in easily. Okay, so this is very simple, and Django has predefined functionality for this one, but most people doesn't know how to set up. Okay, so mostly when you search on YouTube, you will find that you have to create a route, like URLs, and you have to create a view and you have to create templates. But no, this is more simple than you think. Okay, so what you have to do, you have to go to your settings, and first you have to set up this login URL. So this can be used as a login on your browsers. Okay, right here. By default, it uses a account and slash login, but since I don't have any URL, so I can't even use this one. Okay, so for this one, for login only, you have to set up a variables called login underscore URL, just like this. And once you set up this, you have to go to your URLs, your main projects, like for example I have tutorials and URLs. You can see this is the default and it is implemented already when you set up your project. Okay, so admin. Now what you have to do, you have to add a new one for Django default login authentication system, and like login, registration, forget password, reset password, everything will be included in this one, right? So now once you create a new variable here, sorry, new path here, you have to import from Django dot URLs path and include. Okay, include. So you can include a new path here for login and forget password and everything. But to make sure what to include here, we have to first check all those variables, right? So from Django dot contrib dot auth dot URLs, right? So this is the URL that we have to add here, right? So this is the URL we are going to add here. Simply copy and include here. Now you may be thinking then how this will work here, right? So most people, if you know oops concept and you have read PHP or Java, so you can see these are like classes. Okay, so you simply go to URLs and you will see all those URLs here, right? So it's a login, logout, password change done, reset password done, reset token, which is sent to your email address, and then you can reset your password, right? So these are all the URLs that will be included in our new URLs here, right? This one. After this one, when you set up this, if I comment this one, if I go to my browser and if I refresh the page, so you can see it is looking for registration login.html. See, so if I remove this login and type anything else, you can see that there are different URLs available here now. So we have login, we have logout, we have password change, we have password change done, password reset done, and all those URLs that we are looking in the core Django. Okay, so this is the Django authentication URLs. So now we have all those URLs here, right? But what happened now if I go to login/login, you will see that it is looking for a login page, and it is looking for a template which does not exist, which is registration/login.html, right? So now we have to create this one. Now, how are we going to create this one? We have to go to settings, and once you are in the settings, you will need to look up directories here in the templates, and we have like this is the default template searching class, and we have directories, right? And in these directories, we include our template folder. But since we don't have any template right now, what we are going to do, we click simply right click, new directory, and we name it templates. Make sure it has to be the same as templates as at the end. Okay, so you don't forget that, because by default Django will look for this templates folder. And now there are two different ways that Django will look for this project. One, if you have any app, it would look for the app, and inside that app it will look for a templates page, template folder. So, but if you don't have app, it will look outside of the main at the root directory, at the main root directory. This is templates. So first look here, and then it will look in the app. Now we have here templates, and make sure you create another folder inside it before creating any HTML files. The reason why, because whenever you hit a URL, it search for a template in this template directory. But if you have a another app inside your project and you are going to add their templates, right? And sometime what happens that in those templates you have same name of the file, for example index.php, right? Whenever you're going to install a new app from another project and it has the same name like index.html, sorry, index.html, and in this template we have index.html the same name. Okay, so how are we going to like fix that, right? So whenever you create a new template folder, you have to create a new directory, and in this directory make sure this name match your project. Like for example tutorials, so we have to tutorials, right? Tutorial. And once we create this directory, we can now create our HTML files, right? And I'm creating index.html, and once we have this file, what you can do is go to our browser and refresh the page. Now you can see it's still looking for index registration slash login.html. So our file name is login.html, right? So right click here, new file, click new HTML file here. So login.html. In this login.html, let's say okay, login.html. Now we have to redirect that template reduction is to our indexed login.html, right? So if you go to your tutorials, like your main project URLs, and simply overwrite the existing template here. Okay, so how are we gonna do that? We search for URLs, like from Django dot contrib dot auth dot urls dot import views as auth view. Okay, I'm setting is an auth view, and now if you go to views, you will see that there are different classes available, like redirect URL mixing. We have our login view, and we have our login logout view. Okay, and we have our logout then login, redirect to login, and so many views are available here, right? So class, so all these are class view, and in those class views we have variables for templates. So you can see here, right? So you can see login view, and we have template name called registration slash login.html, right? So we need this one. We need to overwrite this one in our url.py. Okay, so how are we going to do that? We have our URLs. There it is. Okay, URLs django dot contrib dot auth dot views dot login view, and then we have our template name, and we set this template name to our template name, which is our login.html in our base directory, the root directory. We have tutorials and we have login.html, right? So tutorials slash login.html. And if you save this, I'm going to remove this just to check. Now, now it shows that tutorials slash login.html does not exist. It does not exist because we have it here, but we did not include our templates folder in settings directory here. Okay, so we have templates and we have a backend class here, and we have to include directories. So directories path, you can find path based on your Django version. So you can, if you search path in this file, you will find here. In some older version you will find like os.path, but in this one I have path. Okay, so path dot join path, and then base directory, which is our root directory, and then we have slash, and then our folder name, right? So templates. So I add templates here, save this file, I go to browser, refresh, and here you can see we have our login page, right? So this is the simplest solution we can do, right? We don't need to create any view, we don't need to create any different route, we simply have to use the default route that is Django provided, right? And now we have a login.html, and you may be thinking that how we get our forms from here, right? So this is simple because all the forms is already passing in the login view. How? If you go to our template and our login view class here, you will see that we have our form class here, and it is called authentication form, right? And if you go to authentication form, you can see our username and password, right? If you go back, we have authentication form right here, and these are all those default functions that is being used in our login, right? So what we have to do, simply we have a login view template and we have our login page here, right? So I'm creating a simple input field and name. So what is the name? Like login form form dot username dot name, which is the name tag, right? And we have a value, so form dot username dot value. If we refresh the page, you will see that we have our input field here, and we have, if you check the input field, you can see the default, the name is username and the password and the value is none, which is blank for now. Okay, you can either leave it is, or simply add a value here, default value. Okay, so this is the browser default is picking up here, which is autocomplete. Okay, so ignore this one, right? Once you ignore this, and if you go to here, if you create a new one, so we have password, right? Password. Now we have a name. If you go to refresh this page, you see we have a name here, password. Okay, so once you have username and password, and now we need a button. Okay, I'm not adding any CSS, it's just an example. You can set up your own CSS and make your own design, and you can set up however you like. Okay, but we already have a form here. So button, just say submit. We can create a form, and action, we don't need this because it is going to be submitted on the same page. We need a method which is post. Token. After refresh this page, you can see we have our CSV token here, and we have a username, password, and submit. If I click on submit, you can see it does not submit, it's keep redirect back to our login page. If I click on preserve log, I click submit, you can see it's submitted, but it does not redirect to anywhere because we don't have any credentials set yet. Okay, So if I set anything, submit, nothing works. Okay. What we can do now, if I go to terminal in the Django project, open up your terminal and create a user. Okay. Create super user and asking for username. I'm setting admin, email address admin@gmail.com, enter password admin, confirm yes. I'm just setting up a simple authentication credentials. Okay. If I go to refresh this page, and before I submit this form, go to your setting and set up a redirect URL once you successfully logged in. Okay. So I have a home URL does not exist yet, so I'm going to create a new one. Okay, so URL, and I'm creating a path home as, and I'm adding a new view here from dot views, import home. So now I don't have any views, so I'm creating a new view, create Python files, views. So in our new view area, I'm setting up this simple function, index function, or should I call home. Once you create this, render request, this is the request, template name is home.html. Okay, home, or let's say index.html default. Okay, once you create this, go to your URLs, import index. Okay, index ship home, and we set a name home. Okay, so this can be used after login. If I go to browser, refresh the page, and if we check URLs, you can see home available, right? So we have a home, we have admin, and we have all other authentication URLs. So login. Okay, try to submit, nothing happened. Right click admin, and once you logged in, it redirect to index.html. Okay, home and template does not exist. So for this one, we already know how to fix this. We are going to view, and we have tutorial slash index.html. We refresh this, you can see we are on home. How do we know that? Go to our templates, index, and you are logged in. Okay, so we are logged in. And how do we confirm that we are logged in? Okay, now if user is authenticated, right? I think I am spell. Okay, if user is authenticated, then user dot username, oops, else not logged in. Okay, so now let's check again, and you can see admin is the username and you're logged in. Okay, so your logged in is here. I'm going to remove from here and add it to here. Refresh, as you can see we are admin and we are logged in. Okay, and the template you can customize anything, and you can like add a css header, html, and anything. Okay, so this is the simple login. And if you want to log out, we have created a button, or let's say anchor tag, right? URL log out. Okay, if we click on this and we are logged out. Okay, now you can see that we have we have this page when we go to log out. Okay, and if you go to click on login again, it will redirect us to our admin. So do not get this logout page. What you have to do, if you have to go to templates, tutorials, settings, and URLs. So in this URLs, you will see that these classes that we used before, right? So you go to views, look for logout. We have logout view. Okay, and now we have a template called this template registration slash logged out.html. So we are going to replace this one. Same thing that we did with the login view. Okay, so we have our uh, logout view. Template name is like test slash html for now. Okay, let's say logout.html, and we have tutorials here, and we are now logged out. Okay, now if you are going to log in, and so you can see here not logged in, and this is the simple button, so it doesn't matter if you're logged in or log out. Okay, and so you see when I click on logout, it sending me to tutorial slash logout.html, which means that once you logged out, it is sending us to our new template. Okay, so this is how you can customize default login and authentication. So I just showed you only two templates. You can customize all the templates, like they are going to reset a password, right? Okay, so if I reset password, reset, you can see. So class based password, reset views. So all these are all the views: password reset view, password reset done view, password reset confirm view, and password reset complete view. Okay, so you can customize all four of these class templates. Okay? You simply have to override the template name, and you're good to go. You already have a form because you have a class based view, and you're already getting a form just like this. You can see you can get all the variables, all the errors. If I say, you can see, if I click on, if I type here form dot errors, right? And if I go to login, submit, you can see, you can also see errors here, right? Username, this field is required. Password, this field is required. Right? If I put username here, submit, you can see the password field is required. And to pre-fill this value, username and password, you can simply go to login, and in the value, just like before. Okay, form dot username dot value default if none blank. Okay, refresh the page, and you can see a value is here because you already submitted the form. And if I simply click login, you can see there is no value, and it also doesn't show none value here because I set a default value for none. If I remove this, you can see the none value is here, which is a none, actually a text here, so which is not good for UI. Okay, for client. So default, we have set a default value for username. We can also set this value for password, but I will suggest not to do that because password is crucial, and you want to make it secure. So every time a login failed, you have to ask user to enter username. Okay, so you can see I submitted none, so it still printing none. So if I clear this and I put like admin here, submit, and you can see admin is here because this value I already added here, right? But form is not completely validated, so it is asking for remaining fields just like password. Okay, so if I put password admin, submit, and you can see I'm logged in and my username is admin. And if I click on logout, you can see template does not exist, tutorial slash logout.html, because I did not created logout page yet. Okay, so I click new HTML file and logout. Okay, this is logout page, and you can see here I'm logged out already. Okay, so this is logout, and you can click and you can add another text like login back, or however you like a anchor tag again, and you can add a URL here, login back, and I have a click to login. So you can see I'm going to login. I'm not going to like slash admin and then login. Okay, so because we don't need that for user, for customers, right? So this is simple login. One more tip before we go. Okay, so this login I'm writing here, this is actually name. This is actually not the text we write in the URLs. So you can see most people write this. Okay, so don't do that. Don't write home here in the URL. Type this URL and assign a name to it, like home or like login. Okay, so this is it. Okay, thanks. If you have any questions, just ask me in the comment box and I will help you out. Thank you and have a nice day.